These fools, they'll never learn.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Foo for Thought channel. Welcome everyone. I know it's been some time. I know it's been forever. Firstly, let me apologize to you all for not having a video up sooner. Been going through some life stuff at the moment or recently. Unfortunately, I've had a very sick Moon. For those of you familiar with my cat Moon, my wife and I, we love her to death, and sadly she's been sick, and I've been going through some other stuff. And anyway, I'm back now. I'm back with videos. Hopefully back for good. Gonna try churning these out regularly. But today, what do I have for you? I have a movie review, and I have what I think is a very interesting movie review for multiple reasons. And I'm just going to dive right into it. I'm actually reviewing the film Gladiator Underground, 2025's Gladiator Underground. So many of you may be sat there now going, what the hell is Gladiator Underground? Yes, rightly so. So Gladiator Underground is the new film from the minds of the Marshall Club crew. If you're not familiar with Marshall Club, please YouTube their work, hop into Google, find them, watch what they do. They are a team of, I don't even know what you'd call them. Originally, they were basically amateur martial artists, and they put in the work, and they became fight choreographers, and they started making short films, and they started making phenomenal short films. And then they popped up in Shang-Chi, or at least Andy Lee popped up in Shang-Chi as, oh my god, why have I forgotten his name? Is it Death Dealer or Death Eater? Death Dealer, I think. And then also they did the fight choreography for Everything Everywhere All But... Jesus. I knew I was going to get that wrong. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. So if you haven't checked out the Marshall Club crew, please do. They are fantastic and they are well worth looking at. And they actually have a new film. They have a new feature-length film that dropped this year. And quite frankly, no one's talking about it. No one is talking about it. No one's seen it. No one's discussing it. And I don't really know what's going on. But we're going to get into the meat of that shortly. So, Gladiator Underground, what is it? Put simply, it's a film that stars Andy Lee, Brian Lee, and D.Y. Sao. Again, three of the guys from the Marshall Club crew. And put simply, it is kind of like an old-fashioned classic tournament film, I guess is the best way to put it. If you've seen films like Bloodsport, Kickboxer, does anyone remember American Samurai? Is it American Samurai? Yeah, I think it was. That was another... And Shoot Fighter. Does anyone remember Shoot Fighter? That was a classic tournament film as well. And then there's a tournament film that no one talks about that I kind of like, but no one else seems to like. Jean-Claude Van Damme's The Quest. I kind of like that film. So, I don't know why. It's kind of ridiculous, but I kind of like it. So... Classic tournament films, they were very popular in the 90s, possibly the late 80s and 90s. Very simple formula. Basically, our hero ends up in a tournament, and, long story short, of course, they ultimately win. This film, Gladiator Underground, has a few twists and turns. Long story short, there is a tournament going on. D.Y. Sao, who is the lead actor of the film, who is considered the hero, he enters the tournament to get a bit of money, because it's a high paying tournament if you win. And firstly, he's an alcoholic, which is a weird choice for the film. I don't love it. I think it's a strange choice, because if I'm honest, D.Y. Sao doesn't play an alcoholic well. It's kind of hammed up and it's not great. It's a small gripe. And then Andy Lee plays D.Y. Sao's brother, who also enters the tournament. So you've got two brothers who, will they or won't they end up fighting each other? And then you've got Andy Lee's real life brother, who is Brian Lee, playing I don't even know how to describe his character. He is insane. Yeah, it is an insane role. For example, this isn't a spoiler. This is just a moment in the film, and this is not done ironically. That is not done really comically. It's done kind of seriously. At one point, Brian Lee does a handstand and bites a man's dick off. I don't know if he bites it off, but he chews on a man's dick, which is a very unusual scene, and it's hilarious, but it's also kind of cool in a way, even though it's very strange. Um, anyway, let's get into the meat of the film. There's very little you need to know about this film, to be honest. It's a simple tournament film. It's basically a series of fights, one after another. What more can you ask? And it's directed by a woman, which I think is very exciting. To have women directing martial arts films, kind of a rarity, I think. It doesn't often happen. And to see a woman directing a film like this that is so action heavy, I think it's very exciting. Definitely to see more women getting into the genre, because I think that's a new perspective we may not have seen before, and it's always good to get that perspective in the genre. And yeah, so what do I like the film? That's the question. Do I like Gladiator Underground? Look, as a simple piece of fluff, as a simple tournament film where you're just going to get fights after fights, are you going to get weapons? Yes, you're going to get weapons at one point. Basically, in order to enter this tournament, you have to have a sponsor. And your sponsor, while you fight, can pay extra money to spin a wheel of weapons. And whatever the wheel lands on, your fighter then gets that weapon. So we do get some weapons. We get a bunch of different fighters. We get a bunch of different styles. And quite frankly, it's a very simple tournament film. It's not doing anything new. It's not doing anything special, I'll admit. The acting is questionable at best. I think DY Sao has acting chops, and he has pretty strong acting chops, and he's definitely the highlight of this film in terms of acting. To be honest, he's almost the highlight in terms of fighting as well. He's superb in this film. But in terms of acting, he's pretty solid. Andy Lee struggles. He is not 100% kind of going all out in this film. His acting is a little questionable. And with Brian Lee, they're very, very clever because they ham him up. They make him a very kind of almost silly character, but it works very well because it's Brian Lee, and he kind of has that character. He's a larger than life character, and I just think it works very, very well. And for the most part, the film's kind of rolls by very simply. It's neither fantastic and it's not terrible either. With that said, did I love the film? No, I definitely didn't love the film. I think there are glaring issues with it, in that it is far too simple for its own good. And this is where I get into the main kind of crux of this video. This is where my main argument lies. And upon watching this film, again, there's not much to say about this film. I'd love to be able to give you more meat on its bones. It doesn't have much meat on its bones. It's entering tournament and fighting. I mean, what more can you expect from a film like that? The thing is, though, if you love films like Bloodsport, if you love films like Shoot Fighter, this will harken back to those films, and it will give you that kind of pang of nostalgia you might want when watching a film like this. It does kind of slightly channel that 90s energy and brings kind of that nostalgic watching experience that we can get from kung fu cinema or martial arts cinema. But here comes my problem. Here comes my big question. As martial arts fans, which I assume you are watching this video, you're a martial arts cinema fan. But as a martial arts cinema fan, when do we ask for more? When do we ask for evolution of fight choreography? Reason being, and this is going to sound very harsh, and I'm sorry, I've actually had the Martial Club boys on my channel. They were a delight. I love talking to them. They love this shit. They work for this shit. They live this shit. They are martial artists through and through and through. However, I am slightly going to lean towards a negative edge here. Not against the Marshall Club boys, but the question is, when, as an audience, are we allowed to ask for more? Reason being, so this film is kind of, again, a simple tournament film. Plenty of fights, plenty of fights. The problem there is I've seen it all before. I've seen it all before. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. There's only so many times you can watch Andy Lee spin on his knees. And I know that sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm really trying to ask an interesting question for genre fans. And that is, when do we, not demand, but when do we expect more? Reason being, Marshall Club have a style. They are very into tricking and pulling out kind of fancy kicks, fancy flips, fancy moves. And they've been doing that for over a decade now. And I will admit, in a feature film, it is getting slightly tired. I will admit. And I love the Marshall Club style, but I can't help but feel like I was enjoying their work more when they were. Do you remember their homage to Crouching Tiger? They did this like short fan film that was an homage to Crouching Tiger, and it was fantastic, and it felt fresh, and it felt new, and this film doesn't feel fresh and new. It doesn't feel fresh and new. It doesn't feel all that exciting because we've seen it all before. And I think that's a huge shame. I think it's time to evolve. Um, but that is a question I put to you guys. And I'd love to hear you talk in the comments about this. When are we allowed to expect the evolution of action? When are we allowed to get tired with a style? For example, Tony Jaa. Let's look at Tony Jaa for a second. Tony Jaa came out the gate hot with Ong Bak, right? Ong Bak immediately we fell in love with because of the new style. It felt fresh, it felt new. There were stunts, there were crazy kicks, there were flips, there was brutality. Ong Bak felt fresh. Then he hit us with the Protector. The Protector was more of the same, but heightened, advanced, evolved. And then we got On Back 2, and On Back 2 was completely different. It was, again, an evolution of the style, an evolution of what Tony Jaa did, and he brought in new concepts, new ideas. But then I can't help but feel Tony Jaa took a step back. The stuff we see in Paradox is very similar to the stuff we see in the first On Back. Tony Jaa got a little bit tired, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I love Tony Jaa. I respect him. He's amazing. He's one of the figureheads of the genre. But on that note, his style, his original style, did get a little bit stale. And I'm feeling that with this film. I'm feeling that with Marshall Club. Maybe because I've been saturated, or kind of the social media space has been saturated by Marshall Club's content. Maybe, but I think the problem here is that you have a perfect foundation for a film that is kind of perfect for Marshall Club, which is a bunch of guys, 3 guys, enter a tournament, they're great at martial arts, they kick ass, right? What more do you want? That's what we got in the 90s, and we loved it. But there needs to be something else. There needs to be a progression in style. I'm not hating, I'm not being mean, I'm not trying to be a shithead. I'm just saying that after a while, sometimes things get a little stale. I'm not saying the tricking is stale. I'm not saying their philosophy. I'm not saying their style is stale per se. Well, sorry, not their style, their attitude, their philosophy. I'm not saying that's stale, but I'm saying some of the exact moves that they do, we've seen them. And I'm not going to lie, we've seen them over and over and over and over. And I know Marshall Club are now just becoming famous, like famous. They're actually in feature-length films now, so they probably want to get their style even more out there, which I appreciate. But as a martial arts cinema fan, sometimes. Oh, let me ask you. Let me ask you, as an audience, as someone who watches these videos, as someone who watches martial arts films, when do you want to ask for more? When do you expect more? Take the Jean. I made him French. Jean Wick. John Wick. Take the John Wick series. When it dropped, we all loved it. John Wick, amazing. A new type of choreography, a new type of action. Oh my god, wonderful. And then every film became John Wick, right? From the producers of John Wick, how many times have we seen that on a film? Oh, it's like John Wick. It's a John Wick-like film, etc., etc. We've seen 1,000 of them since John Wick came out. Now, are we at the stage now where we're allowed to go, look, guys, John Wick style? Kind of boring. Well, not boring. I mean, we all love it, but we've seen it. We've seen it all before. When are we going to see it evolve? When are we going to go beyond John Wick? And in my opinion, what Japan is doing right now, Kansuke Sonomura and Koichi Sakamoto, what they're doing in Japan now, why am I forgetting the name? Baby Assassins. Baby Assassins, the fight choreography in Baby Assassins 3, for example, in my opinion, is heightened beyond anything. It's the evolution of action. It is, and in many cases, I also feel Rurouni Kenshin series was an evolution of action because of the swordplay in that. It was so advanced. It was so beyond anything we'd seen before. And now you watch shows like, if anyone's not watching this, I highly recommend it. There's a show on Netflix called Last Samurai Standing. It's phenomenal. It's a brilliant show, like drama-wise, but the action is phenomenal. And you watch it, and you can see where Rurouni Kenshin kind of factored into it. It's kind of borrowing elements, not completely, but elements from that. And I don't mind that, because we've only seen Rurouni Kenshin in that style. It's not dead yet. It's not tired yet. It's not boring yet. And with the Martial Club boys and with this particular film, this film should work for them. It should work in every single aspect. But it doesn't. Because me, as a martial arts cinema fan, no, let's even go one step further. As a Martial Club fan, I am a man who loves Martial Club. But I am maybe at that stage where I'm just like, I'd like to see them evolve just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. And again, you can call this hate, you can call this mean. I'm not trying to be mean. Again, I love the guys. I just wish I saw a little bit of freshness on the screen. Yeah, it just, I got the sense of, kind of seen this all before, and that brought the film down a little bit for me. Acting wise, plot wise, I mean, this film is obviously low budget. It's very low budget. I mean, the visuals are standard. I mean, they're not amazing, but they're not terrible. But it's obviously a low budget flick, so you can't expect a ton from it. But with a film that's so action heavy and so reliant on its action, personally, I would have just liked to have seen a bit more. With that said, don't hang around. Go and watch the film. Look, we need to support films like this. If you are a fan of Martial Club style, if you are a fan of Tony Jaa's early style, seek out this film. Seek out Gladiator Underground. It's out there. It's available for streaming. I think you have to pay for it, so I imagine you can rent it on, I don't know, Apple Prime Video, whatever's out there right now. I imagine you can rent it anywhere right now. I was lucky enough to get a screener, so that's why that's how I saw it. But all in all, I would give it, if I was going to give it some kind of score, like out of 5, 2.5 out of 5. It's distinctly average. It's flawed, but it also has its perks. I will also say this about Gladiator Underground. Unfortunately, the high points are when the guys from Martial Club are fighting. When anyone other than the guys from Martial Club are fighting, it gets a bit iffy. It's not wonderful. But The reason why I wanted to talk about this film, and people are probably saying, why did you come out like with a review for this film? I just think there's I don't know. I think there's something to explore here in martial arts cinema, and I think there's more to discuss in regards to when do we ask for more? When do we expect more? When do we want a genre to evolve? If you look at the 70s and look at the 80s, Sammo Hung, even Jackie Chan, who kept kind of a very specific Jackie Chan style, he still evolved. He still changed his style. Yuen Woo-ping changed his style throughout the decades. He's stayed true to the modern style every single decade. And I just want more films to do that. But it's hard because how do we dictate what's next? We don't know what's next. What is fight choreography going to look like in 10 years? Are we going to take a step back? Are we going to take a step forward? You never know. But sometimes I just want a bit of freshness. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I just want a bit of freshness. So if you are a fan of Martial Club style and you enjoy what they do, which I do, go ahead, rent Gladiator Underground. Take a look. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So for me, it was a very average film. It was a fun watch, and don't get me wrong, there are some phenomenal fight scenes in this. Very enjoyable stuff. Also, an interesting thing. I could be wrong, but the fight scenes in this film don't feel sped up. Martial Club tends to use undercranking, or not under. It's not undercranking anymore because it's all done digitally. But Martial Club often speed ramp their fight scenes. They crank up the speed. In this one, I didn't feel that, or if it was done incredibly well. Because I didn't feel like it was sped up that much. But that's a small thing. Who cares? But yeah, Gladiator Underground, fresh out of the gate this year, 2025, in a year where, quite frankly, 2025 has been an incredibly strong year for horror films. And it has been, in my eyes, it's been pretty solid for action. It's been a strong year for action, and not necessarily mainstream action. Or by that, I mean not necessarily blockbuster action. I think the smaller films, Ghost Killer, I don't know. I'm trying to work out what the hold on. I'm pulling up my list of. I don't want to reveal it because I'm going to do a video on this at some point. But if you look, sorry, I'm looking at my top 10 action films for the year, and yeah. Oh, Tatsujin Warriors. Was it Tatsujin Warriors? Yeah, anyway, point being, I think it's been A Prisoner of War, Diablo, coming from Scott Adkins. I think it's been a very, very strong year for action, and I think we're evolving in the right places. Even Scott Adkins keeps things fresh. He keeps things fresh. He keeps coming out with new things, but they are still the Scott Adkins style. And yeah, I think we need more people to do that. Keep bringing us new, fresh stuff. Let's not get stuck in a rut. But anyway, was this a review? Was this a review? I don't know. I don't know what this was. I guess it was a rant about... Not a rant. This isn't meant to be negative, but I guess I'm questioning. When do you, and I'm talking to you now who's watching this video, when do you come to demand more from action? At what point do you get tired? Is there anybody whose style you're tired with now? Are you bored with the Japanese style? Are you bored with John Wick like everyone else seems to be at the moment? Although I'm still hanging on. I still enjoy Ballerina quite significantly. Ballerina is up there for me. I love that film. Yeah, where are we? Where are we allowed to ask for more? Are we at a pivotal point where it's going to change? The landscape of fight choreography is going to change? Are we going to see changes? And is everyone going to move forward with the times? Because being stuck in those old styles, those tricking heavy Tony Jaa on back style fight choreography, is it tired? Is it boring? Are we beyond that? Are you, as an audience member, sick of tricking? Are you sick of seeing people do 360 cutters? I don't know what a box cutter. That's it. I don't know what a box cutter is. I know it's a tricking move, but I've got no idea what it is. I'm just making this up. Anyway, yes, as I said, Gladiator Underground, it's there right now. Go and give it a watch. We need to support films like this. It's probably cheap to rent. I don't know how much it is to rent, but it's probably very cheap. But support films like this. See if you enjoy it. Hell, get the guys and gals over, crack a few beers if that's your thing, and just watch this film and just enjoy it for the kind of '90s vibes that it gives off. If anything, it's a nice homage to that kind of era of films. It just lacked a little bit for me. Just lacked in the fight department ever so slightly. It just felt ever so stale. Anyway, let me go ahead and wrap this up because I've talked long enough. Um, and this is my first video back. I don't really know what this was. I wanted it to be a more in-depth review, and then I realized that there's not much to talk about when it comes to this film. In particular, it's kind of just a simple tournament film, but I did want to highlight it. I wanted to bring it to people's attention and say, hey, this film's out. Go and find it. It's the Marshall Club boys. So yeah, if you can go and find it, go and find it. If you like it, let me know. If you love this film, if you watch it and you're just like, this is right down my alley, this is my cup of tea, let me know. I'd love to hear what you love about the film. And if you don't love the film, let me know why. And on the flip side, let me know about the evolution of action. What are you expecting next? What do you want next from the genre? Do you want to see more gunplay? Do you want to see more, I don't know, swordplay? Do we need to go more towards wuxia? Do we need to scrap the BJJ style? Are we done with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What do we need next? What? For example, Wing Chun. Wing Chun's dead. We don't want to see Wing Chun ever again. Ip Man 5 can go away. We don't need Ip Man 5. I mean, cool. If we get it, we get it. But we don't need Ip Man 5. It's time maybe for a shift in style. Should we bring in a new style? What are we going to look on? Should we do Hongar? Should we resurrect, not literally, should we resurrect the spirit of Lao Gao Lung and put more Hongar in films? I don't know. What do we need? What are you expecting? What do you want from the genre? And what bores you these days? What style makes you sit down and go, nah, I've seen all this before. Anyway, that's it. That's my Gladiator Underground review. Again, 2.5 out of 5, I would say. A solid C film, maybe C minus. I don't think it's going to blow any minds, but I certainly don't think it's going to offend anyone. By the way, I have to say something. The script in this film. Look, if I can be truly negative, the script in this film is fucking awful. Truly awful. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna say what it is. It's cringeworthy. It's cringe-inducing at times. I'll let you judge for yourself. But it's fun. It's a fun little film that I hope people set their eyes on because, again, we need more eyes on films like this to get more films like this. Let's get more martial arts films. God knows we need them. I do not know anything about a Blu-ray release or DVD release of this particular film. I am clueless. If it drops, I will be buying it. I think it's only right. I think it's worth picking up and worth owning, if only just to support. But also, it's not a bad film to own. I imagine I would revisit this one, even though I don't love it. It's a very simple revisit, very easy revisit, I should say. So. There we go. Anyway, let me go ahead and wrap this up. It is so good to be back. And recording this video was an absolute delight, so it's so good to be back. I apologize. I am around, and I will start churning these out a little bit more. I've got loads of kung fu movies on the way. I've placed pretty huge orders lately. Got the new Shore Scope set coming next week, which should be exciting. I know a lot of people are getting theirs nice and early. I'm getting mine a little bit later. But yeah, lots of kung fu movies coming in. Hopefully that will result in plenty of reviews. So stay tuned, everyone. And finally, let me say thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. You're all fantastic. You're all wonderful. And thank you for coming along on this journey. And also, thank you for everyone in the comments. You are so wonderful. Everyone's been so nice and just open discussions and chats and conversations. And it's been wonderful back and forthing with some of you. So thank you for that. Right, on that note, if you like this video, whatever this video was, please like and, share and all that stuff. Subscribe. If you like my channel, please feel free to subscribe. There will be more videos like this. There'll be more reviews. Hopefully interviews. I've got a few lined up, and I've also got, I'm resurrecting my old bit, my old series, Fight Bites. Fight Bites will be coming back very, very soon. I will be forcing my dear wife to sit down and watch the fight scenes from Baby Assassins 3, just to see what she says. So I'll make a video on that. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. Take care, and I will catch you next time.